Hi everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about cross-posting your items on multiple platforms. So now as a reseller, we have multiple options of which online selling platform we want to use to sell our merchandise. There is also this really unique idea that we can actually sell the same item on multiple platforms, and whichever one sells first gets us the money. But then there's also things to take into consideration when it comes to cross-posting your items onto multiple platforms, as in, is it a waste of time? So I will occasionally do coaching calls, and that is actually a question that I get a lot more frequently than I expected to. And that question is, should I bother cross-posting my item onto multiple platforms? So I wanted to talk about exactly what I personally do and kind of give a little bit of insight to you so that you can make a judgment based on what suits your business model best. So now there are multiple ways of actually cross-posting your item from one platform to another. There are some services that are now out there, and then you can just do it yourself without having to pay anything extra. I actually have a couple videos showing how I cross-post as fast as possible from eBay to Poshmark, and then also from eBay to Mercari. I will go ahead and link those videos up here for you in the iCards for you to refer to after this video if you decide that you do want to cross-post your items to other platforms. But in those videos, it's starting with eBay as the hub because that is what I personally do. I will list every single thing on eBay, and then I will occasionally cross-post at will. But what a lot of people have started to notice is that I don't really do a lot of cross-posting no more. Cross-posting used to be something that I did on a regular basis. If it was on eBay, then chances are it was also on Mercari or it was also on Poshmark. But I have since changed exactly how I handle my selling, and that has resulted in me not really cross-posting anymore. And so if you were to ask me, is cross-posting on multiple platforms a waste of time? My answer for me and my business would be yes. It's a waste of time. But just because it's a waste of time for me and my personal circumstances doesn't necessarily mean it's a waste of time for you. So first, let me explain why I would consider it to be a waste of time for me and my current business model. So now I am a full-time reseller, meaning I do not have another job outside of my home. I resell full-time as my profession. But just because I resell full-time does not mean that I have 40 hours a week to get the job done. As a matter of fact, the last I checked, I really only dedicate about 10 hours a week to listing new items on eBay, if that. Sometimes I'll only have 5 hours to list things on eBay because I got a lot of stuff going on. And so here's an example. Let's say I can list 10 items in an hour. And that's just listing things on eBay. 10 items in an hour, start to finish. If I have 10 hours to list, that means that I can get up 100 new listings in 1 week. And now let's say that I decide that I am going to go ahead and list a brand new item on eBay and then immediately take the time to cross-post it to either Mercari or Poshmark. And because I'm taking an extra step to then cross-post my item immediately after listing it, that means that I can only get up 7 new listings in the course of an hour, meaning I can only get up 70 new listings in a 10-hour work week. That is a 30% decrease in the number of new listings available for sale. And in my experience, taking that 30% decrease in active listings every single week, it's not financially beneficial for me to do that because the chances of my items selling on eBay is pretty high anyway. In my experience, the items that I am listing for sale on eBay have a sell-through rate of anywhere from 30 to 40% on average, meaning 30 to 40% of the new items that I am putting on eBay are going to be sold within 30 days. And so because the items that I'm listing have a 30 to 40% chance of selling on eBay in the first 30 days, it doesn't make sense for me to take the time to cross-post those items to another platform. Now, that is just my personal preference, because 30 to 40% still leaves 60 to 70% of items left not having sold over a 30-day period. So that percentage might be high enough for you to decide to go ahead and take the time to cross-post those items to another platform. But for me and the amount of time that I have to get new listings up on the eBay platform, it doesn't make sense for me to use the precious few hours that I have for listing to cross-post it to another platform when there is such a high likelihood that it's going to sell all on its own just on eBay. Also, I have such an abundance of inventory that needs to get listed. I have to use every precious hour that I have for listing to get those unlisted items available for sale. Like I've mentioned before, I will get pallets containing thousands of items at any given time. That means that I always have a surplus of merchandise that is eagerly awaiting getting listed online. And because I always have a surplus of merchandise needing to be listed and only so many hours to get those items listed, I have to, as quickly as possible, get those items available for sale so that I can get the cash flow back into my business. And with a sell-through rate of 30 to 40%, I am rest assured that eBay is going to be a solid enough platform to sell my merchandise that I don't need to worry about cross-posting. That I can use that precious time to simply get more items up on eBay rather than trying to sell them on other platforms. But now this is an instance where you would need to take your own business into consideration and think about, what is your sell-through rate? Do you have a surplus of merchandise that needs to get listed? Do you have the time to cross-post onto multiple platforms? And if you have the time to cross-post and you don't have a surplus of merchandise waiting to get listed, then cross-posting is probably a very good business strategy for you. And this is why so many people praise the idea of cross-posting to multiple platforms, because there are so many buyers out there that can be reached that might not be looking on eBay. You have different buyer pools. You also have different platform guidelines that you need to follow. So having the same item available on multiple platforms can be a very beneficial business strategy. Because if your item is only listed on eBay, then you're only going to be seen by eBay buyers. If you simply just list your item on eBay, it might take 3 months to sell. However, if you put it on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, you run the likelihood of selling your item faster than if you just had it listed on the one platform. So in theory, listing your item on multiple platforms is a very good business move to make, because in theory, the more people that you can reach through multiple platforms that have the ability to buy your item, the higher likelihood you have at selling it faster than if you just had it listed on one site. And so if you have the ability and the time to cross-post to multiple platforms, I do think it is a very good idea to do so. But if you are going to cross-post your item to multiple platforms, there are several precautions that you should take. Right now, it is up to you as the seller 100% to make sure you are tracking what items are selling and what platforms they need to be removed from. For example, if you're selling something and it's posted on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark, and it sells on Poshmark, you need to make sure that you remove it from both eBay and Mercari as well. Because if this service exists somewhere, I don't know about it. So if it sells on one platform, you have to make sure that you remove it from another to avoid it selling again. Because if it sells again and you cannot fulfill orders, then that means that you have to cancel orders. And depending on which platform you have to cancel it on, there could be repercussions to your seller account. For instance, right now, I don't think that there's a huge repercussion for canceling on Mercari or Poshmark, but if you have to cancel an order on eBay, your seller account is going to take a hit. So if you have a lot of items cross-posted to various platforms, if it sells on one platform, you have to do your due diligence and make sure that you remove it from the platforms it didn't sell on to ensure it doesn't sell again. You also need to make sure that you don't forget to ship the items that sold on a platform that maybe you don't do a lot of business on. This is something that I actually suffer with myself. I'm so used to shipping every single day for eBay. If I end up getting a sale on Mercari or if I get a sale on Poshmark, I will sometimes completely forget, I will completely forget about sales on other platforms just because they're so infrequent. And so if you're selling on multiple platforms, you need to make sure that you're checking the sales on every single platform every single day to ensure those items get shipped in a timely manner. And also you have to make sure that you're checking messages on every single platform in the event that a potential buyer has questions about your items. And that can be really overwhelming. It can be a struggle to try to keep up with multiple platforms, especially if you have every single item you're selling cross-posted on every platform. It's a lot to juggle. So you should also take all of that into consideration if you're wanting to cross-post to multiple sites. But if you're just getting started with reselling and you're not exactly sure which platform is going to be the best one to sell on for you and your business, it might also be a good idea for you to cross-post to multiple platforms just to see which site is performing the best for the kind of merchandise you're selling. For instance, if you're selling clothing, Poshmark might work out better for you than eBay or Mercari, but you wouldn't know that if you were just automatically putting everything over on eBay and not cross-posting to Poshmark. Because in my experience, different kinds of merchandise can sell better on different platforms depending on what that might be. And you might not necessarily know which platform is going to be the most beneficial one for you and your business until you actually cross-post to those other platforms and find out what is working the best for you. You also might think that one platform is going to be easier than it is, and then after cross-posting and selling a few items on it, you might realize that you don't like that platform at all. Maybe the shipping process is too clunky. Maybe you don't like the fees. Maybe you don't like the customer service that the e-commerce site gives you. You have to have your own experiences with these sites in order to gain that information. Because if you've been following my YouTube channel, you know that I love selling on eBay. eBay is the one platform I talk about the most on my YouTube channel because that is where I have the most success. But there are many, many other people out there that sell on other platforms because they don't like eBay. So the only way for you to know what the best platform is going to be for you and what you like the best is to cross-post your item on multiple platforms and see which one performs best. So, is cross-posting to multiple platforms a waste of time? That's up to you to decide. Let me know down in the comments below, do you consistently cross-post to multiple platforms? And if you do, what are the platforms that you use? Do you cross-post eBay Mercari? Do you cross-post Mercari Poshmark? Do you cross-post Poshmark to eBay? What do you do? I'm always really interested to see which platforms people enjoy cross-posting to, and then also tell me, what is your ratio? Because for me, it's very difficult for me to ever see like a 50-50 ratio. Even when I was cross-posting everything, I would never see like 50% eBay, 50% Poshmark. It was always like 70-30 or 90-10. It was never 50-50. So that's what I'm gonna ask of you guys. Go down in the comments below. Let me know, do you cross-post? which platforms do you cross post to, and what is your ratio of the business that you end up doing on those platforms? I'm really curious to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like it, please do give it a thumbs up. That way I know it. Don't forget to check the video description. I will put a lot of useful information in there for you. And if you would like to see more content, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye-bye.